All right, we're back with a new term that I'm curious if you've heard just yet. Have you heard of rage applying? It's the latest employee trend with workers frustrated and fed up looking for new work, but acting out of frustration might not always be exactly the best thing to do. So here to talk about rage applying is psychologist and executive coach and friend of the show here, Dr. Lisa Orbe-Austin. Hey, Dr. Lisa, how are you?
Hi, Colton. I'm good.
So go ahead and spell this out for us. What exactly is rage applying, and how is it different than just applying for a gig regular?
Yeah, so rage applying is reactive. Something happens to you at work and you, in fury, start randomly applying to things or kind of impulsively applying to things. And the way that it differs is that when you're actually proactively applying, you have a strategy, you have a process, you're doing this week in and week out. It's not an impulsive thing.
So why are workers doing this? And I guess more importantly, also, could it backfire on them?
Yeah, so oftentimes there's a long-standing issue in this workplace, and then something sets it off in the moment that reminds them of why they don't want to be there, why they're unhappy, and then they start to they rage apply as a method of getting back at whatever happened at work. And it can backfire because oftentimes if you're rage applying, you're not necessarily going through the regular process of preparing to interview for that company, having a particular reason why, having a long-term plan about the position and what it does for you. And so you can get caught out there in an interview. And also if you're reaching out to networks, they're not necessarily sure why you're applying in this moment, what you're looking for. So it can be a problem.
So to that note, I'm curious, I want to flip the script on this, right? So how exactly are employers, if they know of this term, if they know of this trend, sort of, are they even changing the way that they are considering potential hires these days?
Yeah, so I think some employers have caught on to this and have begun to ask deeper questions about why are you applying here? Why now? You know, what is the reason why this position would be a long-term fit for you? So they're asking deeper questions. And if you don't have those answers, it looks like this may have been an impulsive decision. So I think you have to be prepared and not kind of engage in these practices.
So if you are, I mean, we've all been there, right? We've all had days where we're like, you know what, I'm gonna give it to them. If you're ever frustrated with work, what should you do before you start rage applying?
So I think it's really important to be able to ventilate those feelings, but you know, it's a weird thing with ventilation because sometimes you ventilate enough to feel like you can just go back there the next day and not do anything about it. But you have to ventilate a little bit and also create a process about the application process of getting out. So if you're so unhappy that you would rage apply, maybe it's time to look outside of where you are currently and kind of come up with a process and a plan and stick to that consistently, whether you're feeling rageful or you're feeling okay at work. And really, like, I also have accountability partners that don't let you off the hook when you're feeling a little bit better and you're like, I don't want to do this. It's a lot of extra work. So really having a process and a plan is much better, and still finding ways to ventilate and take care of yourself for the things that are going on in work that are making you feel rageful.
I love that. Dr. Lisa, before we let you go really quickly, we love you on the show always. You can find her on social for everyone at home at Dr. Orbe-Austin. I'm telling you this, you post great tips on your Instagram. I literally was scrolling this morning before the show, and what you posted earlier this morning, I was like, I needed that today. So anyhow, if you're not following Dr. Lisa, I'm telling you, you got to check it out. Dr. Lisa, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Colton.